Data? What type of
SS.
SS?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm SC myself.
Oh, we're on live.
I don't know. Are we live?
She just put. I think she did just put us live.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Sorry, I was muted and I was talking to y'all, and I was like, "What?" But I'm sorry, I had to go live because it was going to mess up our Facebook streaming, and I would have to start over and do all that. So we're live. Sorry, I know it was kind of like boom, we're there, but you're all right.
I'm just I'm just happy to be here because I was running late and then having some technical, issues. It happens every time.
Trust me, I understand.
But I'm here now. So
Okay.
I was just telling them that I'm here. I am here. The nurse is giving me meds right now, so it probably won't be too much longer. But I'm here though.
okay, girl.
All right. Well, we're gonna do the introductions,
Sure.
and Master will join us in about 15 minutes.
Okay.
All right. So, hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us on our first live back for our first parenting with sickle cell parents panel. We've been gone for a while. How long have we been gone?
It's been a minute.
It's been a little minute.
Yeah, it's been a minute. I think we played tag. Everybody's been in the hospital for a while and stuff, so it's been a little minute.
Definitely the first one this year, if I'm not mistaken. I want to say.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, yay, the first one of the year.
I am excited. I mean, I just can't even believe it's the first one of the year. But now that you say that, it makes a lot of sense because now I'm thinking about Christmas time and where I was at during that time and what was going on. And yeah, so I'm excited it's the first one of the year.
I am too. There's going to be so much in store. I want everybody to don't sleep on us because we got so much great stuff coming.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm so excited about this topic. But before we start, let us introduce ourselves and give, after our introduction, let's give one reason why we chose to be on this panel. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Okay. Hello, everybody. In case you do not know me, I am Shay Brianne Howard. I am a filmmaker, photographer, graphic designer, writer, advocate, and I'm not just a sickle cell advocate, but I'm also a mental health advocate. What else? I am also the daughter of a sickle cell patient. My mother passed away from complications of sickle cell when she was just 25 and I was 7. And I have almost a 7-year-old. I have an 8-year-old beautiful little trait warrior who drives me crazy and I love dearly at the same time. A little bit of both. And one main reason why I wanted to do this panel was because I saw that it was a need for the community. There are lots of questions, and I truly feel like I have answers. I have a lot of answers that people can use. So if I can be of help, I will. I'm always available. Well, I try to be available to people to help them anyway. So why not do it on the platform that I created anyway?
There you go. Yes.
So, yeah. Nikita's busy right now. So, Lena, you want to take us?
Okay, sure. I apologize. I have been hoarse on and off for the past at least week. And then I went to see her in concert, and that didn't help. It set me back. Man, she's a freaking rock star. My name is Lena. My name is Lena Harvey. Some people around the interwebs know me as Lena Lavish. They know me as Lena Lavish, the Queen Warrior herself. Follow me on YouTube. Okay, subscribe to my YouTube channel, please and thank you. I am a 37-year-old warrior. I am sickle beta thalassemia plus. I have a wonderful, perfect little family with my husband Anthony, who has just recently been elected our Pike Precinct captain here in our hometown. And he is also a biologist and he is a wonderful father. We have a 9-year-old, his name is Jackson, and he's absolutely amazing as well. A high achiever, a beat maker, and a leader amongst his peers. I have been diagnosed since I was 4 years old. This was back in Chi-Town, okay, in the 80s, yes, the 1900s. And you know, I just been bumping around here ever since trying to figure out where I belong because my sickle cell was taking me down, y'all. Okay. When we first met, Shay Brown, like, girl, like things were not the same for me at all when we first met. I was just on the cusp of like, oh my gosh, I can breathe. And that was, like maybe a year and a half ago because I started taking Oxbryta, and that has absolutely given me a whole new, breath of fresh air. I have been living my dreams ever since. I don't know if it's because I'm sickle beta plus. I don't know, but it just acted like the key that really led to the majority of my daily pain and chronic fatigue being lowered a lot. So the person that you guys see now is Lena the warrior, but with those two big mountain loads of pain and fatigue taken away. So I'm super authentic and clear headed now. I don't have to take daily morphine anymore. I don't take Percocet anymore unless something happens where I might get a little like baby crisis in this arm or something, but that can be knocked out with extra fluids and stuff now. It ain't like it was where just a couple years ago where it was like, oh, you got to come harder than that. Okay.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So I have since, I've gotten a good, go ahead with my new little, not little, but with my new blessing, which is freedom inside of my body. I have freedom in my mind and my spirit now. My depression and anxiety are a lot less, right? And so now I'm just like trying to get on into the advocate scene, trying to help somebody else in order to end the suffering because sickle cell is torture. Okay?
Yeah, say that.
And I want that to end. I want it to end. I want it to end. So I work every day now on sickle cell.
Okay.
That's me.
Oh, and okay. Is that a part of the one reason why you decided to join the panel? Or
Yes,
okay.
because for one, I was invited by you. And then two, I thought to myself, Lena, if you've been freed from the shackles of your sick bed, then you need to make quick work of yourself. Get up now, okay? And do something now. So now I have like 3 jobs, 2 books in the making, possible, I'm doing photo shoots all the time. I'm raising awareness in more than one space, both online and in the real world. And it's amazing. But no, yeah, I was invited here and I thought to myself, of course, I need to be with my peeps. So thanks for having me.
Thank you for joining.
Yep.
All right, Nikita, you ready?
Nikita.
Okay, yeah, I'm ready.
Okay.
My name is Nikita Connor. I am a sickle cell warrior. I carry the SS gene. So I have sickle cell SS. I have Um, I'm actually currently in the hospital at the moment, and of course, moments like these make it so much more transparent as to why I want to be a part of something such as this and spread exposure in any way possible. I also am I'm married and I have a daughter and I have two bonus babies. My first daughter, she also carries. She's only has the trait. She's not a carrier of the um, disease. Um, yeah, and I'm the owner of Sick Apparel and Accessories, which is it is an apparel line where I sell different types of merchandise in order to spread awareness for sickle cell. You name it, we pretty much have some of everything. Shirts, shorts, hats, um, keychains, air fresheners, just you name it. And I'm actually currently in the process of expanding in my business. So be on the lookout for that. You can
Yes.
check us out at Sick Apparel and Accessories.com. And we do a lot of online business. So I have been able to use this platform to reach others and get that question out there. I think people are afraid to ask, what is sickle cell? But it is my own personal opinion. If somebody sees you wearing something that says it, or you might be wearing a hat, or you might have some shorts on, and they want to know what that brand is. So sickle cell itself is a brand. We have to put ourselves out there as if it is a brand. We live this life on a day-to-day basis. So that's my inspiration and just touching people to letting people know we do exist. We can be successful in all that we go through. And we have to push it a little bit harder, but we can do it. So just part of my goals and my aspirations in getting this word out about sickle cell.
Okay.
Yes.
That's what's up.
Yes. I love that. My last photo shoot I did, I had my sick apparel on, okay? It was so
I
cute.
saw that.
I got a
Okay.
lot of compliments on
Thank
that.
you.
You ready for me?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. We're ready for you right now. Thank you.
Okay.
We have a new addition. Yay. Somebody ring the bell.
Yay!
Okay.
Okay. My name D'Angelo Simmons. I was diagnosed with SC, hemoglobin, at the age of 5. Um, Located here in Cincinnati. I have a nonprofit called 365 Never Ending Fight, where I started back in 2006. Basically, took everything that I had to grow through and put it in a program, and that's what I do here in Cincinnati to advocate, motivate, inspire. Uh, I have a podcast called 365 Never Ending Fight on YouTube. I go by Mr. Check Your Temp uh,
I think
on
I've seen
YouTube.
that before.
Uh, I'm also on Instagram as Mr. Check Your Temp, Facebook as Mr. Check Your Temp, and I basically speak about sickle cell. I basically, communicate with people all around the world with sickle cell. Just piggyback off what y'all said. Just more or less show that you can be successful. You can be, uh, you know, be successful in everyday life, no matter what you deal with. Like you said, it might take us a little longer. As long as we make it there, no matter what you take, as long as you arrive, that's the point. So that's in a nutshell. And I'm here because you invited me, and I think it's crucial to talk about the parenting side of sickle cell. Um, it's very important. It's a lot to it. My son is 23. He'll be 24 in July. He's a carrier. He's a trait. So I got my war stories and my insecurities I love to share with y'all.
Okay, okay.
Wonderful. Welcome.
Thank you, thank you,
Yes.
thank you.
Okay. Well, I'm pretty sure any minute now, Mr. Burt will be here.
I'm excited to. I think I'm a little excited to see your opinions versus Master's opinion.
I am
And
so
so,
excited.
'cause,
I think we
uh,
have a good fit.
uh, Master he can be up against us women over here, and it would be nice to see, another male perspective of things. So I'm kind of
Yes,
excited about that part.
yes. I got 43 years in the game.
I would not have gave you said 23-year-old, so I'm like, what?
Yeah,
Same,
that's sickle
same.
cell. Hey, that's sickle cell for you.
No, you right about that. You
And on
right
top,
about
we
that.
black, so
Right, black
it's a
don't
blessing
crack.
and a curse. It's a blessing and a curse. You know how it go. So
Sorry, I'm over here dying.
Is your fan on?
Okay, there we go. Woo, goodness. All right, so I I'm trying really hard not to talk about the part that I want to get to because I want all of us to join this conversation.
Mhm.
So before we start with that, I suppose um, I could talk about a little bit about ways that I noticed I can self sabotage
hmm
and why. Okay,
Mhm.
number one, I push people away, or I used to.
Oh.
I used to a lot, like a lot more than I do now. Um, but it's still a struggle. That's something that I have to actively work towards not doing because losing my parents so young, and I just went through a lot of loss in my life. So it's fairly difficult for me not to feel like people that got close to me either died or left me because of some reason. Um, I guess you can boil it down to abandonment issues
Mhm.
in a way. So yeah, I I tend to push people away, and um, it's like I said, it's something that I used to do a lot more when I was younger. I was very ain't no bug bed caskets. Okay, you can't take people with you type person, and I had to realize that that was a defense mechanism,
Mhm.
and I had to want to change that about myself because for a long time I didn't see a need to change that because it kept me safe.
Mhm.
You know, it kept me for
Mhm.
in my head it kept me safe, right? Because
hmm
I didn't have to get too close to someone and feel that pain again. So I would say that is one of the top reasons, and I think one of the things that really challenged me is motherhood to change that about myself because I can't push I mean, I'm sure that it's possible, but I know that I didn't want to push my child away out of fear that something could happen to her or I lose her. Um, so that made me in turn want to change that about
Yeah.
myself. And it's really when I accepted that about myself and I was able to come into this community, and I hear all the time how people say, I don't want to get close to any people with sickle cell because I've lost people with sickle cell, or I don't want to lose them. I've lost a lot of friends with sickle cell. I lost my mom to sickle cell, but I don't, I can't look at it in that perspective anymore,
Mhm.
simply because it is it's in the journey, right? It's in loving someone. It's in the process of loving someone where you find the gift, not in the loss. The loss happens. That's death is a part of life. So regardless if it's a person that's completely healthy, I'll live that person and then what? And you
Mhm.
never know what happens. So that's how I kind of look at things. It's in how many times did I have the chance to tell the person I love them? How many times did I have to tell the person how amazing they were or how amazing they were to me? And how many times did I give them their flowers while they were able to receive it?
Mm-hmm.
So I guess it's all about perception, because I had to change my view and the way that I thought about things in order to do that. So, yeah. Does anyone have one thing they know they do that, or they actively work towards not doing anymore, that they know it's a problem?
Now, for us, when you speak of self sabotage, you just speaking of self sabotage. Period. Not from a parenting point of view, just from a life point of view, dealing with sickle cell, right? Is that the angle we speaking from? Me personally, like I said, I'm 43, right? And I don't know if I self sabotage. I don't think I do. Uh, I do cherish relationships. Uh, when it comes to parenting, I do not self sabotage during parent. I never have, because my son was my energy.
Mm-hmm.
I pulled from him. When I had a hip replacement at the age of 22, he was the reason. Them days I'm in the hospital and thinking I'm not gonna make it out. He was the reason why I walked down to the end of the hall and jumped on that bike 3 o'clock in the morning in the hospital. Like, I mean, so I never, when it comes to parenting, I definitely did not sabotage, because the way I looked at it was, I have no time to play no games, because I don't know when my day coming. When you overhear your doctor tell your mother at the age of 10 you won't live to be 30, you really don't have no time to sugarcoat nothing when it comes to parenting, right? So I had to give him my all at the age from birth, uh, before he was able to comprehend what I was even, you know speaking to him. So when it comes to sabotage, I never, I don't know. I don't think I ever have put in that position. Just the way I think about life and the way I think about relationships. Even when it comes to career, I don't think I sabotage. I know sickle cell is the common denominator, uh, when it comes to the hurdles that's thrown in front of me.
Mm-hmm.
But I always found another reason to fight, and that fight was my son. So, I mean, he was the common denominator as well with sickle cell. He was what I pull from, what I look to. You know what I mean? When I'm laying up in that bed, I got these IVs in me, and I got, he was. I look at him, and I'm like, okay, I got to shake this shit off. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? He the reason. Like, I mean, I can't leave him at 5 years old. I can't leave him at 12, 15, 16. And I even feel like that now. Uh, but things change as they get older, of course. But for self sabotage, nah, I don't think I ever put myself in a position, uh, for us pushing anyone away, because I get energy from people. You see what I'm saying? I'm laying up in that hospital like, what's your name again? I can't see. I need glasses.
Oh, I'm
Uh,
Lena. That's
Lena and
Nikita.
Nikita. Like, when
Mm-hmm.
I know what it means. We know what it means to lay in there by ourselves. You see what I'm
Absolutely.
saying? So I pull energy from people. You know what I mean? I can't sit with doors closed because of being in a hospital. My door got to be cracked when I'm in there. I need to see things. I need to see that people was moving and living around me, that which gonna help me pull me out of my funk. You see what I'm saying? But I could keep going on and on and on. Side effect from a Percocet, you talk too much. But I pass the torch.
I look, I think I think that is a I think that the you not um you purposely not engaging in self-sabotage is admirable, because in 2022 there are, my mom calls it, detrimentally distracted. We are all so distracted that it's easy to trip up within yourself.
Mm-hmm.
without even realizing it until it's like, oh snap, I didn't dug this hole and now here I am. And that is definitely something that I used to do in the before time. I used to do that when I was in the throes, in the thick of my illness, and I was um not hopeless, but realistic about what my situation looked like.
Uh-huh.
I just was like, okay, well, um, you know, I'm doing the best I can right now. And so if y'all find that I've been procrastinating, just overlook it because I'm not even all the way here. I'm I would sometimes self isolate a bit like you, Shay, but I my main thing is just procrastination. And that can be applied to anything, right? Anything you can procrastinate about, you can procrastinate over, you can avoid altogether, things like that, because I didn't want to show up if I couldn't show up as my authentic self in my best health, with my clear headedness and my eyes straight. I got sick of showing up places and have people look at me with those eyes. And so I would just avoid things altogether, when it came to like me showing up, because I didn't feel like they really saw who I was. And I couldn't handle that because when I became a mom, I thought, it really is not even about me. Like, it's not even about me. And that had a big impact on what I felt about myself and how I felt in terms of the amount of hope that I did have left. That of course shook something up in me. But it would still be 8+ years until my medical breakthrough came. And so I am now dealing with the ramifications of my shortcomings as a mom in his first, very first formative years, because I was just so ill. I was so sick. Like, when you get through it and then you look back, like, how did I get through that crisis? Like,
Right.
I'm still here. And then you be feeling lost and in a daze, you're trying to come out these meds and everything looks strange to you. And then everybody's, and I got so tired of that. So I became a mom that shifted something. But then as well, when I realized that I could be free of all of that everyday, million bricks worth of pain and fatigue, I realized that I was only operating as a fraction of who I really am. And so now, if I am procrastinating, girl, why? What's the reason? I just look at myself in the mirror and I'll be like, what is the reason? In my Cardi B voice, like, what is the reason? Because there shouldn't
I
be,
feel
because your child is right there. He's looking you dead in the eyes. Like, are you here? And these new kids ain't like these old kids. They got the internet. These kids are different. These kids are not like we were. So you gotta have a comeback. You gotta be able to explain yourself, okay? Because they know big words. My son knows big words.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all know what I mean.
I know exactly what you mean. My daughter be on one, okay? I'd be like, who are you?
Yeah.
And it's like, who
Yeah,
raised you?
my
You
son was collecting some change last week to go to the pinball or something, and he's gonna slide it off the table talking about, I'll just pocket this residual. I was like, pocket the residual? Why are you using these words? You're in the 3rd grade.
Oh my goodness.
You can't just say, "Oh, I'm gonna keep this like everybody else." But
That's
anyway, but
insane.
yeah. So I don't. I try not to. I try not to exhibit those bad habits anymore, because now that I'm free, now that I have a real source of freedom. And when I say freedom, I don't mean just the physical. I mean, I have been rejuvenated spiritually, wholly, in more than one way, in three ways, because my mind is clear now as well for a whole host of other reasons. And so now I'm like, girl, there is no reason. You have been through enough. You have climbed that mountain. You asking God the whole time while you're crying and writhing, why, God? Why? You're asking the whole time. And then finally, when, something happens and it's time for you to go and show, be a testimony, to be a walking, living example that we are overcoming sickle cell together, I said, okay, this is what my son needs to see. Because before, I was unsure of myself and everything I did. And that was why I was procrastinating. I was not 100% secure in my own worth.
Mm.
And when you get down to the nitty gritty, that's what's gonna unleash, the goodness. Oh, there he is,
There he goes.
Master.
How y'all
So,
doing? How y'all
What's going
doing?
on, brother?
What's up with it, bro?
Chilling.
all right. So let's bring you into the fold so we can kind of keep this ball rolling. If you could just introduce people to who you are and why, one reason why you chose to be a part of this panel. What was we just talking about?
Um,
Oh yeah, that's okay. That's it.
well, my name is Master Burt. Um, I'm an artist from Chicago, Illinois. Uh, Father of two. Um, what else? Yeah, that's about it. And the reason why I choose to be a part of the panel is pretty much what I've been doing. I'm just continuing on what I've been doing for the past, I don't know how many years at this point. Uh, I've been pretty active in the sickle cell community. Um, so I mean, honestly, this is just like another thing that I'm doing with Shay. Like in my eyes, like we really have like a good chemistry in the things that we do, and we've done a lot of stuff together. So when she asked me, it's only right that I say yeah to this too. You know?
Mhm.
Your genotype and everything. We all gave that
Oh
information.
yeah, what's
Oh,
your
okay.
genotype?
So my genotype is SS, and my daughter has sickle cell as well, and hers is SS as well.
I got a question if y'all don't mind me asking.
No
What's up, brother?
problem. Go ahead.
I don't want to get off. I mean, it ain't off topic. It's all sickle cell. And I hear, y'all offsprings have sickle cell, right? My son, he's the carrier, of course. He has a trait. And I'm sure we all heard the conversation from the doctors when they say, tell your partner that you have sickle cell before you have sex, right? And I used to tell my doctor, that's pillow talk. That's after the fact, right? No one gonna ever lead with, "Hi, my name is, I got sickle cell." We not. That's even though I get what they say, for us reproducing, but in the reality of it, that's not the case. You know what I mean? And because I hear that, and just listening to y'all, and I'm like, that, and it's just basically how I felt. Right? That's not realistic. Like, you know what I mean? Even though we probably should, you know, but it wasn't realistic for me. You know what I mean? So I just, it wasn't realistic for y'all. So I'll be telling my doctors and them that, like, it sound good, but if you don't live with this chronic illness, that's something we protect it for one, and that's something we don't open up and invite anyone in. Yeah, I mean, right away. It take time. For to reveal something so you know, precious and sentimental to you, basically a part of your life, you know. But that's all I wanted. You know, just wanted did y'all get them same conversations and how did
You're
y'all
right.
feel about it? You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like, because I didn't believe
I
I
never got 'em.
they never.
I
Oh,
never
okay.
got that conversation. Never. I never got that conversation until they tried to offer me hydroxyurea.
Mm,
When they offered me hydroxyurea, one of the things that they talked to me about was if you having unprotected sex, then you need to stop taking the medicine. And that was part of the reason why hydroxyurea was a no. Not because I was just wild enough having unprotected sex, but I just thought to myself,
right.
like, what is it about this medicine, right, that
Yes.
makes it to the point that I can't have sex with her unprotected when y'all don't even tell us this about the drug pills? So you cool with me having unprotected sex with Dilaudid, or you know what I mean? Like, well, it wasn't Dilaudid at the time. At the time, what's the name of that one? They discontinued it. But you cool with me having these drugs in my system, and you ain't saying you ain't warning me for that. It ain't even nothing on the bottle. I don't see nothing even on the bottle that say don't have unprotected sex. So you cool with me doing that, but you're not cool with me doing it with this particular pill. What is in this pill that makes So like that was the only time that I ever was warned about anything sexual pertaining to.
Wow.
Honestly, I had to really just learn it as I kind of like went. You know, but
It,
I'm glad somebody finally. Um, I'm glad it's finally another person that be like, yeah, I don't tell people because I don't. I get kind of get ridiculed for that sometimes. Like when I say I never told women when I was start dating women. That's not your fucking business. Like get to know me for me. You know what I'm
I
saying?
don't think they
Because I
were.
don't want your
Do
sympathy.
you guys think they were telling you not to have unprotected sex or not to procreate while on the medication?
Now he said that's what they were saying. They were saying that the medicine pretty much was like chemo, so you don't want to
Yeah, you don't.
even have put
Yeah.
that
Because
in
I
I
had to
your
never
stop
heard that.
taking it when we started planning our family
yeah.
Wow.
So they
because it has that property where it works inside of your blood, inside of your blood cells, which means, you're going to run the risk of possible birth defects.
went,
That's the
dude.
issue. It's not about who you're with. It's about the child, but whatever child that could be made and come with
The
birth
way that the guy
defects.
ran it though, the way that the guy ran it was if it would hurt her, like as
Your
if the
partner?
yeah, was if the medication coming
Okay.
through me would hurt her. That's how
Okay.
he ran it. But you got to understand, right? This is why hydroxyurea was fairly new as well. This is
Yeah.
like 20 years ago type
Yeah.
shit. You know what I'm saying? Type stuff. So,
Yeah.
so
Yeah, I could see
that
that.
that
Yeah, I
was
could see them being like, okay, we don't know, so just don't do too much.
But you know what though? But you
yeah,
know what? Now back in the day, right? Like I said, I'm 43 right now. I was around when they first introduced that, where they gave one child hydroxyurea, they gave the other child a placebo. Now to hear you say that part about the having sex while on that drug, I never heard that. Right
yeah,
now I know hydroxyurea is tested and proven in SS. Now SC it really doesn't work as well. Now even though they do prescribe it for SC because I was on it back in the day for a short period of time, but my doctor told me that the benefit didn't outweigh the risk when it came to me on that drug. I had to learn years later that it was a actual a cancer drug and
Mhm.
can
fact.
mimic cancer symptoms, lose your
Mhm.
hair, etc., things like that, man. So it's just crazy to hear that part that you just said, Master Man. Just for the sex part of it, it just goes to show how doctors withhold. They tell you what. It's crazy. It just made me think that they give us the illusion that we included in our treatment, but we really not. You see what I'm
Oh, we
saying?
definitely not. We
You know,
definitely not,
they
bro.
give us the inclusion of it, man. But yeah, that's deep, man. You know, yeah.
I went to a bone marrow to the bone marrow. I met with the transplant team, right?
Hmm.
Based off my daughter in Indianapolis. I went to the trans, like I never had the thought of doing it. I just wanted to learn more. So I wanted to sit down with them and talk to see. So I tell these people, right? I tell these people, like, as they talking to me about all these great things and how many people, look, man, I'm a realist, right? To the point where you get sometimes people might say to me, people have said to me, I'm thinking negative. I'm not thinking negative. I'm thinking real. I want to know how many people died on that table. That's what I want to know. I want to know how many people messed up from being on that table. Don't just send me the stats of all of the people that live. I don't want to just know that. I need to know how many that came off stroke. I want to know how many. I need to know those types of things. How many came off and they completed it and still had sickle cell, because that happens. So when they sent me the package, bro, talking about they was gonna send me all of the information, man, you should have saw it was like the statistics, bro, was for the negative stuff wasn't that, like, it was thin, but they had a stack of all of this other stuff. You see what I'm saying?
Hmm. Hmm.
But like I
Yeah.
said, I never had any intention on doing it anyway. It just let me know, like you said, like I ain't lying. Like they allowed us in the heartbeat to keep taking this stuff.
I mean, yeah, because we understand that one thing it is, that we are, it might be cliche, and I'm sure everybody didn't heard it, but the profit is in the treatment, not the cure. Uh, so there's no real rush, man. But yeah, it's just deep, man. You really gotta be proactive in your care, and and take what they say with a grain of salt. I do respect their profession, but I know that book that they teach out of, the chapter on sickle cell is very short. I speak to a lot of college. I speak at UC before. I spoke at a lot of nurses that's coming out. I speak to doctors and nurses that's coming out of college. We do a panel here in Cincinnati where we speak with them. And one day when I was in college, I went to the nurses department and just to read what that chapter consists of. And yes, they do mention hydroxyurea, but they mention the narcotics. So they already got the pre notion that we are dolphins by default because I mean they speak so highly of all the narcotics that they use to treat sickle cell patients. So yeah, a lot of them doctors, man, is it is what it is. All I say is, man, just be proactive in your self care. That's all we really can do for real. You know.
Have you ever saw one of those questions that pretty much leads, like, uh, I used to date a couple of nurses, so, like, nursing school type stuff. So when they get to that part, they get to asking me questions or whatever. And I seen one question where it was like, it was talking about a kid who was in the hospital. He was saying his pain was this or that. It was like pretty much his mother was there. He was paying attention to TV, but he's saying his pain is at a high level. And then they were saying, like, what's wrong with him, right? They were saying, what do you think is wrong with him? The question, the what do you think was wrong with him? I just kind of overlooked that, right? Because I'm looking at the way that they wording this. It's almost like they're saying that this kid ain't nothing. Like if he up watching TV, he can't be in that much pain.
Type shit, right? I mean, I don't mean to
Yeah,
cut
it's
my
like,
bad,
and I
but
was
yeah,
telling her, I told her, I said, man,
No more
it's kind of
cursing.
like
We're
it's
on
leading
YouTube.
y'all.
man, yeah, yeah.
I'm in
Uh,
the hospital right now, and I have been told that before, and I'm on a different floor that I'm typically in, and that is one thing I hate, like with a passion. I have a child at home. I don't care what time she calls me, I'm going to answer my phone. The doctor can be in here, the nurse can be in here, the president can be in here. I do not care. You don't understand what my 13, well, she'll be 13 next week. You don't understand what she goes through when I'm not home or how this affects her as well. It was me and my daughter for a long time before I got married. It was just me and her. So in
Sitting.
order to make her feel comfortable as it is as she can having a sick parent. They told my nurse once like to notate that if I'm up on the phone or I'm on a computer, that um, if I can do that, then I can do that from home.
Wow.
I ain't shot. That's what they
They
do.
don't understand. The phone is what keep me calm.
It really does. It really and really y'all. And another thing, this phone is saving y'all because you don't understand talking to me crazy about something that, as a mother or you or a parent, if something called and said that you had an emergency, you had to get your child in, what are you gonna do? You're gonna be there for your child, and that's with or without sickle cell. So don't judge people based off that. We do have lives outside of this hospital. Like I cannot express that enough. I let them see the pictures. Yeah, I live my best life outside of here. I go hang out. I have family functions on a week to week basis. I'm at my child's school. I'm doing all of that. I don't just sit up here and dwell on sickle cell all day as if, the world is over with. It's rough, but it ain't over.
Girl, we know that. We know you live your best life just like we do.
But the thing is that they act like that. We just get a thrill out of being here. Y'all not entertaining. Trust me, y'all not.
Real. First of all, y'all the closest thing to jail we could possibly get. I'm not trying to see y'all. Y'all
Man,
ain't trying to see me. I don't like being told what to do. Okay? I don't like being told when or how to do
It
it.
ain't even so much about being told what to do. It's being told stupid stuff that kills me. Like, don't tell
No,
me
it's
stupid
that for
stuff.
me. I'm
Like, I don't have a problem with like certain things, but for you to sit up here and say, um, oh, because you're on the phone, you can't be sick. Oh my God! So my world just stopped. Everything's on pause outside of this hospital building. Life just it's gonna hold on till I come back out and then it restarts back up. That's just not feasible. So y'all be wanting the most stupidest stuff from us as if we not real humans.
I'm gonna tell you something, man. I just got finished talking to a few folks. The reason sickle cell patients uh, get treated the way we do, it's like cancer and any other chronic illness, right? That affects the masses. It's gonna receive the respect that is due, rightfully due. Sickle cell affects a population of people. You know what I mean? Just a majority that look like us. You know what I mean? So with that factor alone, the treatment gonna be different. We know there's no money in sickle cell. We know that. You know what I mean? And they know that. That's why, we gotta blow with the wind when it come to treatment. You know what I mean? Anything change, if they want to take a script from you, you really don't have no say so. They may make you believe that you got options, but you really don't. You know what I mean? So it's like the whole treatment of sickle cell is it's like a birdie to the hematology oncology departments in these hospitals, right? Because they main focus, which is blood, but they main focus is cancer. You see what I'm saying? But this is why I try to fight tooth and nail to stay out on them white folks' face. You know what I mean? Just to be honest. And I go in if I got to go in, I got to go in. It is what it is. But that treatment do the way they talk to you and come at you. That's one of the many reasons why I fight tooth and nail not to go in, because they will provoke you to catch a case. You know what I mean? And if you do speak on some aggressive, they'll dock your chart. You know what I mean? They'll blackball you. You're a drug seeker, he this, he that, etc. Like, to the point they'll play with your medicine. You see what I'm saying? Which allow you to stay in the hospital longer because they're not treating the pain how they need to be. I mean, it's a whole thing. Y'all know I'm preaching to the choir, but it's
You
just,
definitely are.
I'm
Can we
preaching.
just
Yeah, yeah,
let's get on to Target real quick
yes, yes.
because we're almost an hour in and I want us
Uh,
to
Oh no, my phone.
talk about this
Oh,
quiz.
yes.
Who else was able to do the saboteurs quiz?
I did it. I did it earlier when I told you that I
Okay.
was taking it.
Yeah, I got
Okay.
it done. I got it done.
Okay.
I
Were
ain't seen
either
no
of you
quiz, yo.
I figured that, Master. It's really quick if you just want to,
When was that? When was that?
It's in a group chat. That
Okay.
yeah. If you want to use your other phone and just kind of
Yeah, I'm finna go get in there.
real quick. Okay. And Lena, were you? I think did your phone die? Did we lose her?
She was saying something about my phone.
It may have died. Okay, well, at least three of us on this talk have done.
Yeah.
We have done the saboteurs quiz. I got this quiz from a friend of mine. She's a sex coach,
Okay.
and she has a website, and she has this quiz on her website. And I thought it was a pretty cool quiz considering this is our topic. And I was like, what? Let's do it. So shout out to Felicia Hunt for the quiz being on her website. And if anyone else would like to take this quiz to figure out what your saboteurs is,
Yeah.
I'll post
Yeah.
it in the comments. I'll post the link in the comments.
Oh, there was some good questions on there too. It made you think.
Yeah. So we're only going to talk about two of our highest results of our saboteurs. I mean, you can go in whatever order you feel comfortable doing. But I'm going to do the top
Sorry,
two.
did it email you something?
Yeah, I got an email.
I didn't get an email from mine. So
Did you check your spam? It said to check your spam if you didn't receive
let
it.
me check.
Can you what are you doing, ma'am? Anyways, sorry. So my top two is so me, it's ridiculous that I was like, okay, you know what? I do that. Which is hyperachiever and hyper vigilant. Okay. So I did take down the what is it called? Um the meanings. So I'm just gonna read through some of it of what it is and everything. Um Dependent on constant performance and achievement of self-respect and self-validation, highly focused on external success, leading in leading to this is the part that's like, okay, some of it is like, okay, I get it, but then some of it's like, I don't know if it's quite. But this is my highest one. I got a 9.4 on this one. And it said leading to unsustainable workaholic tendencies. Oh, does that sound like me? And loss of touch with deeper emotional and relationship needs. First of all, I feel like I connect with people. I feel like half of that is right. I'm not gonna lie. Nyla, don't look at me like that. That's disrespectful. Okay? I am not. Anyways, I'm sorry. Let me focus. The characteristics are competitive, image and status conscious, which I really don't care, but okay. And to an extent, yeah. Good at covering up insecurities and showing positive image. Adapt personality to fit what would be most impressive to other. Goal oriented and workaholic streak. Um, let's see. And I'm just going to read through a couple of the other things. It says thoughts. I guess these are the thoughts that I think in my head, apparently. I must be best at what I do. If I can't be outstanding, I won't bother. I ain't going to lie. That one, yeah. That one is me. If I can't be outstanding, I won't bother. Must be efficient and effective. Okay. Um, emotions get in the way of performance. Okay, I will stop there. And then with the feelings, I guess these are how I'm supposed to feel uh, in this sort of in these saboteurs. So it's like I don't like dwelling in feelings for too long. They distract me from achieving my goals. Sometimes I feel empty and depressed inside, but I don't linger there. That's true. Um, important to me to feel successful. That's what it's all about. I feel worthy mostly when I'm successful. It says could have this the one could have a fear of intimacy and vulnerability. I will give them that one. Okay. I already talked about this a little bit when I said I have a hard time sometimes letting people get closer to me.
Mm-hmm.
So that was like, okay, that makes sense right there. Hold on, let me add master back. Okay. And then so this is I wanna get to the part where it says where it comes from, where it may stem from, because that's what really hit me a little bit. Um For the hyperachiever, self validation, self acceptance, and self love are all conditional, conditioned on continual performance. This is often the result of either conditional or altogether absent validation from parental figures. Even with very loving and approving parents, it is easy for children to get the sense that they are loved in return for achieving, obeying the rules, having good manners, etc., rather than unconditionally. And I think it just stems back to me losing my parents and wanting to make them proud. So I think I go a little overboard sometimes. I can have the tendency to like, yeah. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and then we have hypervigilant, which is a little shorter, so I'm glad. Which is continuous anxiety, intense anxiety about all the dangers and what could go wrong. Vigilance can never rest.
Mm-hmm.
This is so me. I'm sorry. It's crazy. Um, okay. Some characteristics is always anxious with chronic doubts about self and others, extraordinary sensitivities to danger signals, constant expectation of mishap or danger, suspicious of what others are up to, people might mess up, might seek reassurance and guidance in procedures, rules, authorities, and institutions. Thoughts that go through my head. When is the other shoe going to drop? I've literally said that a lot, actually. And if I make a mistake, nah, that one ain't it. Let me find one for me because I don't care. We do not care. Okay. um. Okay, this is the one. I want to trust people, but I find myself suspicious of their motives. And then this is another one. I need to know what the rules are, although I might not always follow them. Yep. Okay. Feelings, skeptical, even cynical, often anxious and highly vigilant. Um, okay, Nyla, you see me doing something. I don't care about that right now. And then we have the original survival function, meaning what it could be stemming from, which is the hypervigilant often comes from Early experiences were the source of safety and security. In parentheses, it says parental figure was unpredictable and unreliable. It could also result in it could also result when painful, unexpected events proved life to be threatening or unreliable. So, when I think back, I'm like, okay, it could be. Oh, I don't know the fact that I have sickle cell, and my life was a little unstable, coming up after after a while, and also it could potentially be the fact that my grandmother. I've talked about this often. My grandmother suffered from mental health issues, and I had to really step up and be there for her a lot of the times. And one minute she could be totally fine, and the next I would have to like adjust and take care of her, and the roles would be reversed. So yeah, that's definitely, I could say, two saboteurs that I obviously have for reasons that I'm working through, that I have been working through. And I'm not saying that's something that's like I'm terrible at, because everything that I am, I've
Mhm.
been working on for years now. So that's why I'm so comfortable with talking about these things, because I've come a long way. I really truly have. So
You
yeah.
know,
Who
what
else?
what
Oh,
was for the sabotage? I think when I know why it was hard for me to when I first heard that topic. I try to think real hard, like how can one be sabotage something, right? And then maybe because I look at it this way, sickle cell by itself is a sabotage. Yeah, I mean, you
okay.
know, so it's like it's like since I grew to look at it, and as I'm glad you brought it up because it's making me thinking that really put them together. And like I say, sickle cell is the sabotage piece for me, right? So it's like how can I not allow sickle cell to sabotage my life? You know what I mean? And my goals and my energy and my mental health and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Uh, you know, so that's probably why I probably look at that differently at the age of 43 now, because sickle cell was always
Okay.
the one. Like when I wanted to go to the military at 18, I was turned down sickle
Man.
cell. When I wanted to, the doctors always tell you when you're younger, you can't play this, you can't do that. Sickle cell sabotaging my life, right? When it comes to having a job and you get fired due to you need a shoulder replacement, sickle cell sabotaged. You know what I mean? Because I had to address and deal with sickle cell when it show its head. You know what I mean? So that's why sickle cell. When I finally took the entrepreneurial route and tried to figure out my own path, and the reason I took that route because I got tired of losing jobs due to sickle cell, which sickle cell is sabotaging my career. Sickle cell is sabotaging relationships. You see what I'm saying? So my thing was to control sickle cell as much as possible. You know what I mean? To keep it from sabotaging my life, which is an
Mm.
ongoing battle. You see what I'm saying? It's an ongoing fight. That's where 365 Never in the Fight. That's the name of the my nonprofit. That's where it comes from. Uh, before it's letting it sabotage anything else, for me sabotage anything else, I don't single cell is the main component, that I fight off to keep from doing that. You know.
But when you took the quiz, did any other saboteurs pop up? Um,
Uh mine was pretty low. I wish I could I don't have it. I don't know if I can go to my email while I'm on here. It
you
won't
should
will
be
it
able to. I
will it
think
will
it'll
it
just
mess
take you
up?
off the screen.
What it would do?
I think it'll just take you off the screen
Okay,
while
let me try real quick then. Because I could just do the top ones. Okay, I think yeah, I
Maybe
can
you
still
can
hear y'all.
screenshot it and
I can
use your
still hear
camera
y'all.
picture on one frame and
which is
Um, Where is that?
Maybe he can screenshot it and then just look at it from the video if it's keeping you, if you have to be on both your internet and
Got it.
Okay, your scores. Okay, my. I'm gonna give you my three, right?
Hmm.
And and I'm gonna say it to you. I'm gonna come back on, so I ain't gotta look at it. Uh, controller, a stickler, and hypervigilant. Those was my three highest, and which is true for me. I am a control freak. I do believe controlling my area and controlling everything that go on around me. Don't nothing happen around me unless I allow it. You know what I mean? And that come from it could come from once again, sickle cell come from, doctors controlling me. You know what I mean? Sickle cell kind of controlling me at one point. You know what I mean? A stickler, I am a stickler for certain things on how I'm treated, how I'm approached, how I'm spoke to, in every sense of the word. And hypervigilant, yeah, that be come from sickle cell, then it could come from the environment I grew up in. So I'm very good at reading the room. I'm very good at knowing when the energy that shifted in the room. Just growing up on the block with a bunch of guys, you have to be hyper vigilant. You got to be, control your area. Yeah, it just so happened those two, sickle cell is a fighting disease, and growing up in the hood is a fighting disease. You know what I mean? So yeah, I can see why my them three was high for me. So yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, it makes sense for me.
Okay.
But
Nikita, did you find your results?
I don't have it. I started doing it over, but I'm almost finished. I have like 8 questions left.
Okay. Yeah, that's
but
no problem.
while they finish, but like I say, even for us the parenting part, uh, when it comes to sabotaging that part of your life, when it comes to kids, I think what's the other lady that her she fell off the on here with us. What's
Lena.
her name? You say Lena?
Hmm.
Okay, Lena. Like when she said how her life before her child versus after her child. You know what I mean? For us, like how her child, it seems to me on the outside looking in, her child became her motivation. Like, I mean, versus it's just me, so I'm a blow in the wind more or less. And then when you got a seed to take care of, you gotta pull things in and get back on track and you know, and make sense of things. You know what I mean? Let your child, let your kids be your reason, you know, to do better for yourself because you got to be around for them, you know. But it's kind of hard for me to even just see like sabotaging that. I know how people it is easy to do, because even with my son, I know I didn't graduate. I got my GED when I was 30, and I knew my son would ask me. I was very big on education, go to school, et cetera, right? Now, as they got older, I knew one day they was going to ask me, "Daddy, did you go? Did you graduate?" Now, I can't say, "Oh, I ain't graduate." Sickle cell, X, Y, and Z, and because that ain't the case. You see what I'm saying? So I had to go back and get my GED. Once I cleared my head enough, I had to go back and get my GED, go to college, and make sure I'm good. I mean, so I wouldn't sabotage that part of relationship because I got to be the example. You see what I'm
Hmm.
saying? It's easy for somebody to sit and lay and okay, I did with sickle cell. I had 2 hip replacements, shoulder replacement, stroke, heart attack, went blind. It's easy to lay on the couch and say, "Oh, woe is me." Have our pity party, which we do sometimes. But it's all about blowing them candles out again and keep it pushing. But I knew that I had to be the example for my son, which ended up making me better for me. Like, I mean, he was my reason for everything, to go back to school, to better my life. I mean, to try to better myself every chance I get, instead of just, oh, I go sickle cell again and whoopty whoop, whoopty whoop,
Should put that up.
But, all I say is this, man, just find your motivation, man. And you put your motivation in your wee ones and your kids, can't nothing stop you, can't nothing sabotage you. You know what I mean? Because you got a reason to fight for, standing right in front of you.
Honestly, I truly hear everything you're talking about because I know for a fact my daughter made me better. And made me fight harder than I think I've ever fought in my life to not just exist, live, um, and to thrive. Uh, I know sometimes I feel like I put a lot of pressure on myself because I want, like you said, I want to lead by example. I want her to be like, I don't have an excuse. My mom has sickle cell and she did X, Y, and Z. She did everything she could while she could. So I think that's where my pressure comes from as far as like putting too much work on myself or just trying to do more. I think it stems from a lot, but mostly knowing I want her to be better than me, knowing that that's the number one thing I think any parent wants for their child is them to be way better. Um, so I think that it could be it could be a little nerve wracking sometimes to put myself under that much pressure, but I don't think it's a bad thing because at the end of the day, she wants to be a doctor. So I think that's what pushes me too. It's like, okay, she wants to be a doctor, so I can't be out here. First of all, I gotta make the money to be able to help support her through that. One and two, I have to be able to give her an example of hard work and dedication and what it would look like and how it would pay off for her if she, because I know it's not going to be easy for her. You know, everything is going to be hard. Um, but I know she's my child, so she got it.
I
You know,
got a question. I got a question. Now, do you ever asked her what made her want to be a doctor? Is it more or less watching you deal with doctors and she want to try to cure you, or you think? I mean, you think it's just
I,
watching? Yeah, go ahead.
I would say it. My health have a lot to do with it. What I go through, what she sees me go through,
Mm-hmm.
because I'm so transparent with her. But I'm so transparent with her, and I've said this before too. I've actually just said this on Friday. I'm transparent with her because my mother was not with me. I
Mm-hmm.
didn't get that same energy. I had to either find out or just it wasn't like, hey, this is what's going on, you know. So I think just her seeing me go through what I go through, her seeing the difference between me being treated properly and me not being treated right. And I've had some doctors that have really took a liking to her, and she was also inspired by them. And I think it motivated her to say, you know what, this is something I want. And I'm not gonna lie, when I was young, I knew what I wanted to do. I mean, of course, I didn't understand that everything that I wanted to do would look like this.
Right, right.
But I'm doing
Mhm.
exactly what I wanted to do as a kid. Like I never deviated, and I know other kids do, and that's fine. If one day she come to me like, "Mom, you know what? I'm good." Like, unless it has to be like a valid reason though, because she's been wanting to be a doctor since she was like 3. So, I mean, and she loves science. She loves math. Well, she likes math. She does. She's good at math.
I don't like it.
She doesn't like it. She's good at it, but
I don't like it.
okay. I hear you. I hear you.
Only time I can like is time.
Multiplication. Okay.
So I don't like it. Give it straight,
So
mama.
yeah. So um, that's pretty much it. Like, I mean, she. I think she just sees the struggle. It's not just me that she's seeing go through this. A lot of my friends have sickle cell. You
But you
know,
know what? That's a form of self sabotaging, right? When you say how your mother used to keep you out the loop, right?
mm-hmm.
And you broke the barrier because when I think of self sabotage, and that would be a way to self sabotage by not showing your daughter your true self. You know what I mean? Because, dealing with any kind of aquatic ills, we have no time to sugarcoat nor hide. All we
Mm-hmm.
can do is just explain and break down and get understanding, no matter what age they are. You know what I mean? Eventually they'll pick up on it. You know what I mean? I mean, my son used to watch me. It's times where I, find myself on the couch sick. I call myself peeking up at him, and he watching me, checking on me at the age of 3. Tell you, I mean, he go get my water, massage my leg and my arm, 3 years old, because kids want to help. They want to be there for their parent. You know what I mean? They want to assist. So, I have seen it, and once again, teach his own. But, some people, when they get sick, they might ship their kids off. I don't want to be bothered. I'm sick. I don't feel good. No, let them sit there with you. You know what I mean? Let them see what that look like, because at the end of the day, kids want to help. You know what I mean? And explain to them. Because it was times my son knew as I got older, he knew, okay, in the morning, my daddy ain't took his medicine, don't knock on that door yet. Because he gonna be moody. And when once his medicine kick in, he'll peek out and he ready to go. I mean, he knew, he learned my schedule without me even having to say anything, over the time. But I think it's cool to include your kids in your treatment, because that's what they want to do anyway. They want to know, make sure mom and daddy good. You know what I mean? Whatever the
Yes.
case may be. And then once again, it's a partnership. You know what I mean? You know,
Yes.
it's a partnership.
Definitely keep Nyla in the loop. She's
Yeah,
like,
it's beautiful.
there's nothing I don't, even the stuff that I'm like, I don't know if I want to tell her that. It's not really great news. But like earlier this year, I don't know if I've actually said this in public. I probably haven't. Um, Earlier this year, my kidney function was down to the point where they felt like I was going to need dialysis soon, right?
Mm-hmm.
And for me, I couldn't fathom that next step because I had been working so hard to stay at least borderline okay, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And when I got the news, I automatically thought like, okay, I can't tell Nyla this because,
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to bring her into something so
Mm-hmm.
dreadful. But I told her,
Time and
and
place. Mm-hmm.
she was like, "Okay, what we got to do? What's up?
Mm-hmm.
How
You
we
know
going to
what?
do this?"
That I think that fits into that category of self sabotaging too, because now that you both topics that you guys were just speaking on, I've
Mm,
experienced it in both aspects. My daughter wanted to be. My daughter, you couldn't tell my daughter she wasn't Dr. McStuffin. She was Dr. McStuffin from head to toe. She was gonna cure mama. She was gonna make a cure for sickle cell, and I mean she has gotten older, so it's transformed a little bit. But now she says that she wants to be able to help kids with situations like that, because I can't imagine what you dealt with when you were little, mama. Like listening to how you like she knows how I felt like I wasn't gonna live past this age, because this is what a doctor told me. She knows I had to be straight up with my daughter about those things. She is older now, and she's seeking certain conversations that we tend to like to shelter our kids from. But at the end of the day, like you said, in that situation, you didn't know how Nyla was going to react to that situation. But her reaction was totally different than you thought it was going to be. But that's because we have put this protective insight on them, or we want them to be a certain type of way. They are not us. We can't just think. We're not allowing them to think as themselves. We're not allowing them to become who they need to become, because we're saying no. I'm gonna keep you from everything that's gonna hurt you. As a parent, yeah, you're gonna protect your children, but you also want to give them the reality of the real world. Like
Mm-hmm.
my daughter, she told me this herself when COVID happened, and it was like it hit me like a ton of bricks when COVID happened. Everybody in my circle was really really tight. Like me, I have two brothers. One of my brothers has a wife and kids. My other brother has a current girlfriend. So our circle was really really tight. So we weren't going out. We weren't in and out of the house. We were, staying within our area, thinking, okay, yeah, we're high risk. So, well, I'm high risk. We didn't want to take the chance or anything like that. Come to find out, somebody broke into our storage unit. A couple days later, my husband tested positive for COVID. I had just been in the bed with him, laying in the bed with him. So when he started feeling bad, we were thinking like, dang, like, oh my God, like, how is this gonna affect me? Of course, feeding into the scenario that, everything is worst case scenario because we are high risk. Anything that goes on in the world, doesn't matter if it was a flu outbreak, we gon' want to protect ourselves more so because of what we deal with. My daughter said, she said, Mama, because when she came in, he came in. I said, "Well, babe, we'll just put you in her room, and she could stay in the room with me, or we could, just separate inside of the house." She said, "Mom, why do you do that? When something goes wrong or when something happens, you don't just tell me. You always say, just give me a minute, baby, or just go over there, or I'll tell you later. Like you have to make up something to tell me." And I was like, huh? What do you mean? She was like when he came in the house, you didn't want to tell me that because you knew that you thought that I was gonna freak out. I'm not gonna freak out. I just want to make sure that you're okay. We're all gonna be safe. Like, and she's like, you don't have to be afraid to tell me stuff like that. I'm getting older now, and I'm like, you know what? I think that was something kind of like, to me, it was kind of like, okay, yeah, I do that. Because I do. I'm like, I'm already wait. Well, I'll tell you in a little bit. And it is to give myself a little time to prepare mentally. So it's like, I'm not setting her up to prepare for situations that I deal with my life or situations that she has not encountered. But, I'm learning that to try to give her that more space because if something happens to me today or tomorrow, I will be then failed her because I'm not giving her the opportunity to learn.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree 1,000. That's why I said we have no time to sugarcoat. We have no time to
Man.
withhold. You know what I mean? We just got to get them cut. I mean, no chaser. You know what I mean? Straight up and down. You know, I mean, of course, we're, I mean, age appropriate terminology, but, you know,
And I think that's initially our fears. It's
yeah,
just like,
basically what it is.
like when I was growing up being told that you're not gonna make it past 16, that was a fear of mine. Like for a long
I
time,
agree.
like, it's getting closer to that 16th birthday. As a kid, my mom got two other kids. I didn't want to stress my mama out more with my emotions or me feeling down because I'm thinking I might not make it past this age. But, you know, my mom, even since we started this panel, we've had several different conversations about things we've encountered with sickle cell. And mom even told me once, she's like, I didn't know you felt like that until she heard us on panel before. But it was just some things that I didn't share. And I think that could probably be the biggest sabotage, especially with those that are there in your corner. Like my mom was gonna be there, rain, sleet, snow, it don't matter what time I call, whatever. In the emergency room, my mom has flew across to other states to be with me in the hospital. So yeah, my mom's gonna do that. But like I guess it's my own little like I don't wanna be a burden on people.
hmm Yeah, that part. I'm guilty of that a little bit myself. I ain't gonna hold you. Yeah, I'm guilty of that, But I feel you. Like I said, I was told I wanted to be 30, and that's why I think I was so upfront with my son.
You got
You know what I
30.
mean?
Ouch, 30. That's to me, I was paranoid at a kid's age. At 30, I'm not gonna say I wouldn't have worried about it, but I think as a kid, you hear something like that, you automatically think, a kid, I'm about to die. Am I gonna die? Like I just felt like I didn't. It wasn't presented to us properly growing up, or
Yeah,
No,
no one should put numbers on us. Nobody. That's
yeah,
not, even if all signs point to it. Um, but at the end of the day, you can't tell someone what type of time they have because you don't know. You're not the author.
right,
You don't
right.
understand what their purpose is. They might outlive you.
Yeah.
All these people that ever put death on me and think I'm gonna die early, I might outlive everybody. And they
Yeah.
about sitting here like, oh, what happened?
Right?
I'm like,
I'm gonna
don't
tell you
play with me
something.
and my God, baby. I'm so sorry. I know we're almost at an hour 30 and I don't want to
Okay.
go too long. So I want to give
Yeah.
Master and Nikita the chance if they have done the quiz
Okay,
to
you
talk
can go,
about
Master. I know you
Master.
Yeah,
did.
I'm done. If you're done, you can go, Nikita.
Yeah. You, I think you can go.
Okay. Let me go to it again. Uh, I better go because I only got 3%.
Well, yeah.
Sabotage report. Okay, here we go. Uh, dang. Okay, here we go. Uh, hyper rational is the first one. That's accurate.
Definitely accurate. I'm sorry. I'm sure.
uh,
Let you do you.
restless. Very, very accurate. Uh, a pleaser. Accurate. Avoider. That's been accurate as of lately. Controller, stickler, hyperachiever, hyper, hyper, hyper,
Hyper vigilant. Nyla said
hypervigilant.
it.
Yeah, hypervigilant and victim is last. That's
Okay.
cool with me.
Yeah. I think that
Yeah,
was
that's
like,
cool with me.
I want to say that was my lowest one is victim. But yeah. Let me make sure I'm not just talking. No, it was one of the lowest one. Okay. Um
I'm real
yeah.
cool with the hyper rational though and the restless. I mean, cause that's that and pleaser too. Like um, the avoider part. I think I became an avoider. Like I think I went from even when I tell you like shit, like I try to leave a lot of stuff alone, like now versus that ain't what other people might say when they speak to me. But today, me, like, yeah, I try to leave stuff alone. It's not even that important. Like, a lot of stuff is just like, oh, okay, that's what he said, or oh, okay, that's what they did. Cool. Like, and
I'll say that.
I think the hyper rational part is what brings on the avoider part.
Can you just explain what hyperrational is? Real quick, if you can. Do you have
Well,
the explanation
if
on
we're
there?
going into the rational part that I'm thinking what we're talking about is I feel like men should be rational. I feel like you should be a thinker. I feel like anything outside of that is acting out of emotion. Um, I literally had this conversation recently, like whereas, you know, um, men are the thinkers, women are the emotional, and that's the balance in the household. Uh, and so I feel like, even like, dudes that like beat on women and stuff like that, like that's a female trait, like that's because they're acting out of emotion at that point. You know what I'm saying? They snapping and they act out of emotion at that point or whatever. But what I was gonna say to that was trying to think what I was gonna say to that. The thought of like, I mean, like I try to analyze everything, right? Like I try to analyze everything. Like Shay called me a lot of times, and she was like, "Man, I just want a perspective about this and what you think about this." And then I give her, that perspective. What I was gonna say was that a lot of these men is even like locked up. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of guys really locked up based off of because being raised by a woman, right? They don't know how to deal with other men like men. You see, and so they turn around and then they deal with a man as a woman would have dealt with it. They going to ask their mom or their auntie or whoever for advice on how to deal with a man when she giving you advice from her perspective, which is a woman's view. And so I think a lot of times, that's why a lot of dudes end up like locked up or whatever, because they get whatever happened, get beat up and then boom, they shoot the dude or whatever they do. Versus, I mean, even if you planned on going that far, you still supposed to think that like it's chess, it ain't checkers. Like, so when I say hyper rational, like I think that you really have to, like, man, I really feel like life is chess. Like, I had a friend of mine tell me that if I got to play chess for everything, then I don't want to be a part of it. You crazy. You crazy. You
I'm
got
ask
to
you,
play chess for everything.
I'm ask, break your metaphor down for chess, like compared it to life.
Oh, man, I had a whole video there. I'll send it to you too.
Yeah,
But,
yeah, just in
but
a nutshell. Yeah, it's like
just
how you
like
compare it.
comparing it to life, bro, and it really depends on, give me a situation more than anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, but whatever you do, you got friends, right? You got some friends that you're willing to lose. You got some friends that you're not. Your family ain't the only people that you're not, that you're not willing to lose. You got some. Well, I know I do. I got some friends that I won't lose over my family members. Those are pawns. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You got some dudes that, they wild. They do whatever for you. You know what I'm saying? Again, those are guys that you keep a little close to you, similar to the queen. You know what I'm saying? And
Mm-hmm.
even in the sense of like relationship wise, when you dealing with women, you know what I'm saying? Like you get some women, you could tell where she placed it already. If you play the game, you could tell like, she loud mouth, wild, this, that, she out here just going crazy, hood, ghetto ass. Like
Mm-hmm.
you might place
Pawn,
her in this, you might place her in the place of a pawn, you know
a
what I'm saying?
pawn,
But then when you
sacrifice
get that
her.
woman that, when they say when you give a woman, when you give a woman something, she gonna multiply.
Mm-hmm.
That's the queen position, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Mm-hmm.
so
Mm-hmm.
it's just
I'm a,
you just got to place people, man, with with the power of what you need. You know what I'm saying? Who have the you got to place people who have the tools to do
mm-hmm.
the things that you need done in your life. You know,
Right.
I'm an artist, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not good with business though. I'm not good with business at all.
Mm-hmm.
However, right, I have dealt with a particular female, bro, and it was a lady with sickle cell, right? She tried to get me to I'm sorry, she didn't have sickle cell. She had a like a non for profit, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so what she wanted me to do was she wanted me to come to Milwaukee to do like a paint and sip type thing.
Mm-hmm.
And originally I was told that I'm gonna be the artist there. I could come and I'm gonna sell my work and I'm gonna this. Now this chick I was dealing with, she was like real super like business oriented, right? And
Mm-hmm.
she's a woman at the end of the day. So this woman is telling me all of this stuff, bro. And next thing you know, the time as we kept getting closer, she kept asking me for bio. I need a picture of you. I need this, right? She had a cousin that passed away with sickle cell. This is why she said she was so in tune with, with the community or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And so next thing you know, she called me on the phone and said, "Hey, do you mind if we got she had another lady on the phone. Yeah, this is gonna be the person who gonna do the actual painting sale part. And this is what I'm coming for.
Right.
And then you could just come and you could sell your work." Man, that chick at the time caught that stuff on the. She caught it, bro. She caught everything of it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
She said, "Oh no, man, you a pawn in that." So I'm like, "What you mean?" She said, "Well, master, listen to what she's saying." She said, first she went off as telling you all this stuff that you was gonna do that she know that you wanted to do. Then she had a lack of respect for you that she put up another artist on the freeway, which you basically telling you your work. You wasn't even good enough to do. By saying she was gonna replace you with that one. She
Mm-hmm.
said, but then she want all this bio stuff from you. She said, bro, you the face of this. You
Mm-hmm.
just the person who she ain't got nobody else with sickle cell, so
Right. You the
she
reason.
wanted you to come just to be like the poster child, pretty much.
Yeah.
And I was
Yeah.
like, damn, I ain't think about it like that. So,
Mm-hmm.
but the same thing is, when I deal with one and she naive, they all got that friend that they believe that don't want to touch them.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And then
Mm-hmm.
you get to telling them like, nah, man, dude just did this. Dude, nah, he waiting on his turn, shorty. That ain't your friend. He waiting on the turn. That's
Right.
the difference.
Right.
So it's kind of like that, you know what I'm saying? Like you really got to use people, man, you
I'm
really
gonna
got to
tell
see
you.
what you need in life.
I like the metaphor how you broke it down. Right. I'm gonna tell you how I break down chess in life. Right. And let's say it's a few ways. Everybody say the first thing people go to is thinking 5, 10 steps ahead. Right. That's the basic.
Mm-hmm.
Right. But the nitty gritty is where you're on the chessboard. Right. Now, somebody probably put a rook in front of your bishop. Right. It's a move that you can't resist. Right. But you so hyper to respond to this person move that you don't see the bigger picture.
Mm.
You see what I'm
In the
saying?
back
This is
though.
and this is and this is why I teach my son, right? I teach my
Sorry.
son and I taught him how to play chess. And when he first started playing chess, he wanted to do a tit for a tat. He was more just,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? You take something from him and take it back. And I showed him how I was able to use that because I provoked your emotion. You see what I'm saying? You got to ask yourself sometime, why did somebody make that move on me?
Okay.
And guess
Facts.
what? What type of
Facts.
response does that move? I mean, what type of response does that need? Sometimes it don't need no response. There's times where, okay, yeah, that rook look good, but I'm gonna let that rook sit because I see
Yeah.
something else over here. You see what I'm saying? So he's trying to bait me. And that's how I look at that life in chess because that happen every day. Yeah, I
Mm.
mean, that happen every day through life when somebody, and that's basically working off emotion, like you said earlier, emotion. Yeah, I mean, when you playing chess, if you playing chess off of emotion, you always lose. You see what I'm
Somebody
saying?
literally just beat me like that, bro, a couple of days ago,
Yeah,
bro. I go up to the skating rink, right, and I play up there, whatever, man. And dude placed that queen out there because he knew I was going to take it.
yeah.
I said, oh, he made that mistake? And I ain't even peep. His
Checkmate,
next move was checkmate. You know what I'm
checkmate.
saying? And he
He
started, as soon
sacrificed
as I
his
took
woman.
it, bro, as soon as I took it, he
Yeah.
started, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. So I definitely
So
get that.
and that's life right there, man. Control your emotion.
Gotta
Basically,
know
what you were
when to
just
be
saying.
Fact, bro.
patient, when
That
to
I feel
yeah,
like every, bro, I feel
when
like
to move, not
every,
just how to move, but when to move. People
yes.
are
I feel
Don't
like,
so
provoke. Don't provoke
stuck
you.
on when, like you said, when somebody, you did this to me, I got to get you back.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
And
I'm
that's you
so
out your
smart. I'm gonna
skin.
let you go ahead. Have at it.
Mm. Yeah, yeah,
I'm a
man, but
punk.
bro, I feel like
yeah,
like controlling your emotions is the strongest thing that a man could possibly do, bro. Like,
yeah. It's
and
detrimental.
like I got a book over there, bro. I read a lot, bro. I read a lot. Like I got a book over there called Triggers, bro. And that's really like it talk about like, do we really have free will of our own like own selves and stuff like
Mm-hmm.
and like man, controlling your emotions. It's like it's real. It's tough sometimes.
Yeah, it's
You know what
tough.
I'm
Yeah,
saying? It's
yeah,
tough sometimes, but at the same, especially when you're used to doing things the other way. You know,
yeah,
when you're
yeah.
used to just going,
Mm-hmm.
it's tough. But
Mm-hmm.
at the same time, man, sometimes you got to think about like you said, you got kids. Saying I can't just go out there and just go wild out on everybody just because that I told my daughter like I can't. I was talking to her about suicide and and how like I can't do that. Like I said I get down sometimes, babe. I do. I was just told that I can't do something that I love to do.
Mm-hmm.
I was just told that. I said, but I asked. I said, do you think that suicide is weak or strong? And she said, well, Dad, I think that it's weaker because that means that you ran from your problems and what was going
Mm-hmm.
on in life.
Mm,
I said, yeah, that's exactly how I think of it too. And I said, but I could never do that because I can't leave you here. Like I
mhm.
can't just leave you here. Like, you know what I mean? Like I gotta still worry about what happened to you if I'm gone.
Yes.
And so
How old is she?
my daughter 13.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
I had a
beautiful.
daughter, she's 13, and a son, he's 10.
I think I'm gonna tell you something. I spoke at a panel years ago, and this young lady got up. She had to been about 13, and she said sometimes that she get tired of fighting, right? And she I get tired of fighting. Sometimes I just want to give up and die, right? And so I had to tell her. I said, I'm looking at the time I was probably like 28, and I'm like, look, I say I cry on my mother's shoulder once a year, and that's just all the buildup of playing,
Man,
being strong, right?
being strong,
Yeah, I
yeah.
mean, so I told her, I say suicide. I say, baby, I say, don't never think that way. I say, because if you think that way, that means that's a selfish act. I say, because there's people out here who love you. There's people out here
Who
who
love
want
you?
to see you here. I say, but I'm gonna tell you something. When you think about suicide, that means that you then lost all reasons to fight. I say, now when you can't fight for yourself no more, you got to find someone else to fight for. It could be your mama. It could be, your daughter, your kid. It could be your best friend who want to see you around. It could be your daddy, your cousin. Because I'm gonna tell you something. I wouldn't be here now if I didn't have a son at 19. Because I've been stopped fighting for me years ago. You see what I'm saying? So due to hip replacements, by the time I was 30 years old. I had two metal hips, a metal shoulder, a vitrectomy in my eye. Yeah, at one point I was on a cane and an eye patch. People thought I was trying to be cool. Like now I realize I'm in a fight for my life at this point.
Yeah,
Yeah, so if I would have been at a stage where I was like, I've been tired of sickle cell, but I had a bigger picture in front of me, which was my 3-year-old, 1-year-old at the time. So yeah, suicide was very a selfish act. And I understand it is hurdles with that. It's a mental thing with that. So I'm not saying it to downplay or discredit people's struggles. But if you really sit with it and analyze it, it's a selfish act. But this is the reason why platforms like this, man, is to help talk through. You know what I
The
mean?
thing
You
is,
know.
it is a selfish act, but it's what we a lot of the times we feel like we've been groomed into that because we have so many limitations. We can't, if you're told as a woman, you can't have kids. If you get pregnant, you might not make it. The baby might not make it.
Mhm.
As you have sickle cell, like you go into the hospital every time you look around. I have APN, but thankfully it was really like a touch and go moment for a long time. Am I gonna have to have this done? You limit yourself so
Mhm.
much because of what you're told by doctors, because of what you're told by any in the medical field, period. So we have to be strong, if because who else gonna be strong for us?
Better know it.
yeah.
Not a soul.
Yeah, I want to
Okay,
say this.
Kim.
I know she's
Well,
gonna wrap up soon. Let me
all
say
right,
this
before you
real
say
quick
this,
though.
one thing, if you guys plan on talking about the S word, can we not say the whole word? We could say taking your life, stuff like that. But
Okay.
Okay.
when we say the S word,
It's
it
a trigger.
can lock my whole profiles on both.
Oh, okay.
And I ain't
Oh,
trying to
okay.
do
And
that.
you need to send us
Nah.
a list of words. You need to send us a list of words or something that
Yeah,
you know
can
Yeah,
of. You know
yeah.
what I'm saying?
Well, good
Okay.
looking out on
Because
that.
we
Hold your
just
heads up.
talking, we just
Yeah.
talking. Like,
I know, but I started thinking like, oh snaps, and so that's why I kind of. But go ahead, Master,
Yeah.
say what you had to
yeah.
say.
Oh, I was just gonna say, man, bro, I could have used you 4, 5 years ago. how long? How long say I? Cause I've been. You just don't know. I be going in
What did
on
I say
guys
when
and
we got on
committing
here?
stuff.
I said I'm anxious for you to meet Master then, because Master,
Man, bro.
his
No,
way
we're
of
gonna link, bro. We're gonna link. You
Right.
already
See,
know.
I told you.
like they,
Ain't
I
Yeah.
I'm a
Yeah, you
good
already
did
saw
tell
it.
me that.
Whenever I met when
chooser.
he started talking, I said him and Master gonna click. I'm interested to see
Yeah.
how that conversation is gonna pan out.
Yeah. Yeah. We're gonna
Yeah,
link, man. So we make sure when we
yeah.
get up out of here, get in your inbox, my inbox, and we swap numbers. I ain't good at text. I like to see, I might FaceTime
Yeah,
you a few
I ain't
times.
good at it either, bro.
Y'all,
I
You know what
I
I
think that
swear,
mean?
y'all
that's it.
almost identical to like your characteristic traits.
When you
That's how I
listen to
knew.
him, and
Yeah,
exactly.
Uh,
like I see I see something brewing. I didn't even know what was happening at the time, but
I started from the jump. As soon as I heard him start talking, I was like, "Oh yeah, this is gonna be interesting."
Yeah, but
yes,
nah, I can dig it, man. How old are you, Master?
I'm 42, bro. I'm a year younger than you.
42. So you look 80.
Yeah,
Hey, you
yeah,
can't eat that age. What sickle cell got us looking good, don't it? Gotta say
yeah. Thanks.
that.
Master, I didn't know you were 42, my guy.
Oh man,
Yeah.
I said that on
I
live
I
too.
did
you
not
sure
I did
did.
not
I'm
give
That's
you
why I was like,
42, brother.
he said his
man.
age.
I
I
never
said
would
that
have,
on
and I've
live
been
too. I
knowing you
know
for
it'd
a
be
little
like,
bit now. I never knew
Nah,
that, Master. Okay,
oh
okay.
man.
dig that. Gotta say that.
See, I
Yeah.
had nothing to do with it.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
don't forget too many things.
I'm
But
telling
yeah.
you. Okay, Nikita, did you want to
I
go over
did.
your
I got
result?
it up finally, y'all. Look.
Okay, so let's do that and then let's wrap up because we're at 1:45.
Okay, so you said you wanted the top three. Is that what you wanted?
Top two or three, whichever ones you decide.
Okay. The top one is a stickler, and the second one was well, actually, I guess. Ooh, I'm pretty. I don't even know how to feel about this. I have one, two, three, four. They're all the same. 8.1. A stickler. I'm a stickler. I'm hyper rational, and I'm a hyper achiever, and I'm a controller. And then the rest is restless 7.5. That should have been way lower on the field. It says in hypervigilant 6.3, avoider 6.3, a pleaser 5.6, and a victim 3.1. Now, victim 3.1, I agree with that. Like I can't do the whole victim mentality, the woe is me, like don't patronize me or sympathize me as if I'm just, you know, I'm not that type of person. Like I don't like people feeling sorry for me. Like, yeah, it's still at the end of the day, it's a harder life, but it's my life. So don't feed me that like, oh, you can't do this, you can't do that. Girl, I could do more in my 24 hours than you can in your 24 hours with my disease. So like
Right.
that's just not me. But in a lot of things, I don't really feel like I'm a controlling person. I just don't like moving stupid
Mm.
or like or
mm.
moving backwards. Like so when I'm a person that I'm gonna look into it first and I'm gonna look at it and evaluate a situation. It doesn't matter. It could be from the biggest thing to the smallest thing. Like, why would I go this direction and that? That direction is available too. What's wrong with this? I'm just not that. I'm not controlling. I'm just not easily persuaded to do things that don't make sense to me. And I mean, that could be a downfall because no, I'm not always right. But 9 times out of 10, if I'm standing on something and I'm firm behind what I'm saying, I, I'm gonna stick with it. I'm gonna stick with my decision until you prove me otherwise.
Believe that.
I
I'm
don't
gonna
really.
be honest. That is a struggle to this day for me. I really feel like the fact that my control issues do stem from sometimes not being in control because of sickle cell. Like how it comes in and does what it wants to do. So when I can control
Mhm.
something, I'm like, okay, I ain't got
A,
time,
a question for
but
y'all, ladies. Well, all three. Um,
Mhm.
I told a woman earlier. I said when people come out of, and that's man or woman, but when I was talking to a woman, so it's like when women come out of relationships where the man was controlling, they project that control and that weakness that they gave dude, that weakness that they had with him, and the strength that they wanted to give him on the new dude.
Mm.
What y'all think?
It's easily happen. I ain't gonna say I've never been. I ain't gonna sit up here and lie and say I ain't never made no rash decisions because of a previous engagement. I'm not gonna lie. I have. I've been like, okay, I'm not gonna deal with that no more. So don't come at me with no stupid stuff like period. But then again, I'm an overthinker. So I was like, okay, that ain't cool. I can't judge you based off what now if you show me signs of what I've been through, or then I'm gonna allow you to know how I feel about it. And then you have that right to correct it or move along.
Yeah. Um, I feel like it's a natural reaction to anything. Um, I think some people in this world just can't be controlled in a way, especially if their life in some parts of their life they don't have ultimate control. Um, I know another reason why I have control issues is because I'm a single mother. It's all on me, so I have to control everything. I have to be the one on top of everything in my household, for my child, for me. So I have to be able to keep keep things
Mhm.
flowing
Mhm.
in the direction that's it's supposed to flow in. But as far as like just being
I sure wish Lena could have answered this.
I don't I I don't know how I don't I'm really trying to say I don't know how to be controlled. I said it. There we
It
go.
is. You know what?
I'm a.
So
Mhm.
then that goes to that then to counter question you guys then with that. So as a woman and you've been through ups and downs, round and round, you express that to that person, and they're still um, showing you that that they want to be the boss. My biggest thing, and I tell my husband this, I tell anybody this. I don't have a problem with being submissive, and the submissive don't mean
That's different. Yeah,
controlling me. I
it's
do.
different.
I will let you lead, but I'm not going to allow you to lead me into the ground.
Okay, because who you following, baby?
Yeah,
That's what I'm
I'm
saying.
not gonna. I'm not gonna. If now being submissive doesn't mean that you get the control over me, and it ain't none of that. That's not what submissive is about.
Mm-mm.
You have two parts for a reason. You had a man role and a woman role, and those roles they have to be. If you're not equally yoked, then that person ain't meant for you. Period.
What do you think equally yoked is,
Yeah. What's that? Yeah. Yeah. I'm about to ask you. What's equally yoked?
in
What
your
me
opinion?
like? I believe like me. I'm old school. I'm not, but I'm old school. But I also have that new image. When I was growing up, I had an issue with the whole man being ahead. When I was a young girl, I was
Uh-huh.
young, and I was like, "Well, a woman can do whatever a man can do," and this and that. Just this was my teenager me.
Uh-huh.
That was my teenager mindset. So I had this youth pastor who sat me down and we had this conversation, and it took, I'm not gonna lie, it took quite a minute to get that understanding because I wasn't seeing it. And I'm just like, you know what, that just means like what, I'm not good enough to do it, or I'm not this. But being equally yoked, meaning that yeah, you can provide for me, I can provide for you, we can do that. But you come in, you bringing something to this table that's going to benefit our household, our lifestyle, and it ain't just necessarily in a financial aspect. I don't believe that a man got to go and do the working all day long. A man and a woman can both work. Y'all both live in their house, right? Y'all both need to be taking care of their house. You can work, she can work. He can cook, you can cook. You can watch the kids, she can watch the kids. I mean, you have to come up with an understanding. If your job is more strenuous than mine and we both going to work, then yeah, I don't mind coming home and making dinner. Or I don't mind, having when you have your time to develop yourself or whatever. Like you come home, you might not want to be up in my face right now when you come home from work. I'll give you that, give you your time, and vice versa. I don't feel like I have to nag you about every single thing. A man knows just as well as a woman knows what they should be bringing to the table.
Yeah.
And all that, like, yeah, it's all cool. You want to pay all the bills, that's fine and dandy.
But let me. I know we got to get out of here. Just real quick, just to answer your question. So, Master, you said does say that one more time. You said something to the fact of if a woman in a relationship with a controlling man, when they new
Yeah.
relationship, where they try to
Do they display that? Do they
that
basically
control.
like? Do they transfer what they wanted to give him to
Yes.
him?
Yes. Now I agree a
I agree
thousand,
with you.
man. But just for the simple fact, man, I was married at one point, and I was told that I was controlling, and I am controlling. You know what I mean? I control everything around me, but I'm a healthy control though. You know what I mean? You know, and
But why
that
would
was
you classify that as controlling?
this is her terminology. You know what I mean? This is what she
Oh, I
told to
thought that's
me.
what you were saying about yourself. Okay, I'm sorry.
No, I mean, I do control everything around me. I raised my kid, my son that way. And this more or less just talking about life. Don't nothing happen around me unless I allow it to happen around me. So it's kind of a different scenario from where she speak from, right? So this is why I say, man, this is why when I left when I went to my divorce, I gave myself 5 to 6 years to cleanse that energy. You see what I'm saying? See, when people go from one relationship to right into the next
Can
relationship,
we get an
they
air high
they
five,
bring
please, sir? Thank
they
you.
bring that they bring that
Soul ties.
they
Yes.
bring that toxic energy from the old boy being controlling. Now they come over here. Now I'm on your heels because what this guy done done. You see what I'm saying? And this is why I don't believe in just transition to one relationship to another. It's important to be by yourself and deal with it. If you need a therapy, go to therapy. If you need to date yourself, take yourself out on a good dinners. These are things that I did for me because, and I'm gonna tell you something. One thing I do believe in too. I tell women this quick, fast, and hurry. I make a better friend than I do a husband or a boyfriend, right? And I'm gonna tell you what I mean by that. Because when you're a friend, a woman is on her best behavior because she's trying to convince you she's the one, right? So now guess what? She can control her tongue, she can control how she come at you, she can control her energy for 2, 3 years. In my case, it happened for 10 years before I decided to get married. So what happens is now when you get into a relationship with me, now I have rules. I have ways that you're gonna have to think before you talk to me. You can't come at me any kind of way. You're not gonna talk to me like I owe you child support. You see what I'm saying? So most women don't like that part of a man. That's why they call it controlling.
Can
You
I
know what I
get an
mean?
amen
Facts.
to the people that
They
understand?
call that controlling because of that. Because that's why I say when I'm a friend, I'm the best friend since sliced bread. Because guess what? We're gonna do what we do. You know what I mean? And we're gonna move around. And guess what? You're gonna be on your best behavior. But let's just say I decided to get into a relationship with my friend 5 years later. Now she didn't show me that she can control every aspect of her energy, right? So now once we get in a relationship and we share a roof, now when she starts showing that other side, what that tells me is that okay, that's a choice. You choose to come at me cockeyed crazy. You choose to act the way you acted because guess what? You showed me for 5 years straight that you can control it.
Let me stop.
So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make a decision and I'm gonna move around. You know what I mean? I ain't gotta hoop, I ain't gotta holler, I ain't gotta fuss, I ain't gotta cuss. Like I tell people all the time, I can't fight you in sickle cell. I can't get rid of sickle cell, but I can get rid of you.
That part.
You know what I mean?
That.
And that's just what it is. That's just
That
Man,
and
I'm
part.
that's in
finna
the
make a
control.
shirt or something.
I swear to,
Look,
I'm over here feeling like I'm at
taking
You know what I
church.
mean?
note
I'm
right
like,
here.
Oh,
Uh,
there's a
about to
shirt or
catch the
something
Holy.
to say that.
but that's what I learned, man. And that's why I said, like I said, man, I make a great friend. Oh,
Me
beautiful friend.
too.
I'm
I
a
am an
therapist.
amazing
I'm a
friend.
sex educationist. I'm a whole
Man,
nine. We can
there ain't
talk
nothing
about it,
you could
right?
talk. You can't talk to me about.
But if you're gonna
I
share my
have
space,
very
you're
low.
gonna have respect. You gotta have respect to be in my space. Because I'm gonna
Right.
give you yours.
Yeah.
Man, and I feel like if I leave with it, I
There,
demand it.
there it
Yeah,
is.
like
There it is. There it is. We grown,
And
man.
I think,
People know how they want to be
and so
treated
is
now.
that unattractive from that behavior or the way that you consider yourself? Do you feel like that's unattractive as a woman that sees things the same way,
What you mean?
like how
For
you're saying?
the way I see it, exactly the way I
Yeah,
see it. No, it's beautiful because we have an understanding. It's respect there. The main thing, but with respect breeds healthy relationship. When you think before you speak to me, I'm thinking before I speak to you. You see what I'm saying? And I hate when I hear people back in it. I hear people say, I'm on my period and I feel like this. I'm in pain off and on all day.
Man, listen.
I don't let sickle cell control my energy towards nobody. If I'm in that headspace, guess what? I don't leave the house. I'm at
The
Right.
home, I'm
biggest thing, the
chilling.
biggest thing I hate, bro, is this man or female, bro, and it's regular. Not sickle cell people in general, but just everybody, bro. When they hit me with this bipolar, or I got all these anger issues. You control yourself in front of your grandmama. You control yourself in front of me.
There you
You
go. That's the
control
Oh
point.
yourself
my
in front of the
God.
police.
That's why it's funny to me.
Control yourself in front of me.
That's the point
Simple.
right there.
Because
Like,
those are my conversations.
We
I just
grown,
had
man.
this conversation about people always saying that they have mental illness when they want to get away with things. Like at my daughter's in middle school this year. Some of these kids are they. My baby came home and she was telling me about one of the girls at the school. She takes because she has behavior issues. So the next conversation a few weeks ago, another little girl, she has behavior issues. So I said, so do she just have those issues when she's at school, or her mom? So she knows. She said, but she's not like that all the time. Bingo. That means she ain't got no behavior issues. She's doing that for attention, for whatever attention she's seeking or whatever. But I tell you what, you better not fit into that category because your mama is not her mama.
Right. I tell Nyla all the time, I
I'm gonna tell
ain't
you
got it
something.
all.
I'm gonna tell you something. I mean, I get it when it come to kids, and I understand it because you setting a boundary mark. You know what I mean? You know, but just from kid to adult, when kids gonna be sporadic and influenced. You know what I mean? But
Yeah,
you
they
like you say,
are.
but you setting a mark for her, that's good because you letting her know what she do, you can't do. You know what I mean? I get it. You know what I
But
mean?
the thing is, that's what they're labeling them. Like it's something mental wrong. But it's not all this. Everything is not
Mm-hmm.
mental. It ain't something. If it's something that you can control, it don't. It ain't no mental health. I mean, I had a
Well,
meeting at the school with the principal. Um, about an incident up there at the school. Some stuff that was brought to my attention. My child's not exposed to everything. But y'all want to put everything on mental health, like everything is now. So and then they messed up and told these women that you can get a check for being on mental illness. So now they're going to get a check for these babies because they want worried about the money and not thinking about the long term
yeah,
effects it's gonna have on these kids.
yeah. That's like I said.
yeah,
That's
Okay.
it.
I did that with that 504. They tried to get me to get my daughter that IEP. I said my daughter don't got no mental disability. My daughter gets straight A's. What I look like, my daughter just simply need a couple of physical situations, like not carrying all of her books type stuff. That's the stuff that my
Now,
kid needs.
now IEP, right? Now IEP is just basically docking the services that she might need. I mean, it's not really. It's let's say, like you said, she need help with carrying your book. Let's say, for example, back when I was in Cincinnati State, which is the college down here. You know what I mean? I did a cognitive test, right, and I learned how sickle cell affected my brain and my process speed, just the comprehension. Which I have no issues, but I know I need when it comes to test taking. I know that I need longer time in a quiet area for me being distracted. So that's kind of like an IEP when you got kids in school, you know what I mean? Where they, like you said, what she need for her books and, she might have to go use the bathroom, get water. That way she can do that without being
Here,
harassed.
here, that was the 504. See, the 504
Oh,
allowed that. The
okay. So y'all got
IEP
something different
was
up
getting
there.
into, yeah, the 504 plan allowed with everything that you just spoke about. It was written
Yeah.
all in the 504 plan. But then when it
Okay.
came
It's
to the
different.
IEP, see, IEP, I don't know, when they get to talking about that type of stuff, bro, I just know a lot of these schools be trying to get you to go into all the Ritalin and all these crazy type drugs.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
they
I
do.
had
They do.
And that's what it
no
is
medicine
now.
to my
That's
daughter,
exactly
bro.
what it is.
Yeah, they do. They do.
My daughter
Definitely.
taking Dari, folic acid, and then we couple of
All
pain
right,
medicine.
y'all.
That's it. We ain't doing
We
all
over
that.
2 hours now.
Yeah, we can wrap
Y'all
it up.
know
Yeah,
how
yeah,
I
yeah.
am.
But yeah, let's wrap it up.
Yeah. We can wrap it up. We can wrap it up. We do our last introduction.
Y'all know because we will be here all night. We
Gotta say that.
literally have great conversation. All of us. I've spoke to everyone
Yeah, I
individually.
was on the phone with you for hours and something the other day. Me and her on the phone. I'm like, girl, let me get my butt out this car.
I'm telling you, me and Bastard are the same thing. And me and the other, I'm telling you, it's just
Man,
like we just start talking and then boom, what happened to the time?
What
Yeah,
happened?
now we can have
that's
Okay,
that
how
little
it
so
battle.
be.
Now we can have that battle. Hey, now we can have that battle we was talking about.
oh yeah, so you want that to be the next
Him and
one?
him and him and hey, him and Dorian. That's all I need.
What
I get him and Dorian. I'm
do
good.
you want it to be on the parents panel or do you want it to be just a regular battle?
However you want to do it, it go the
So
battle. You
what you
know
saying about the next topic?
where we
Oh, he
talk
wants to
we
have a
talk
battle of
about
the sexes.
when we talk about stuff with basically I wanted to do one where we talk about like where men could do better. Men talk about what men could do better, and y'all talk about what women could do better. Then I wanted to talk about one where men talk about what women could do better, and then y'all talk about what men could do better. Like one of them is the same gender, and then one of them is the opposite gender.
Hmm.
And yeah, like
Hey,
Okay.
I'm with it. Let me know what's up. I'm down.
the great
Okay,
debate.
the
Yeah,
great.
I'm with it. With
Well,
it.
um, I I just want to say thank you all for dedicating this time
Hmm.
to coming on here out of your busy schedules and speaking, using your voice, advocating, and just, giving all the gems that we gave today and being transparent because we were I mean, all of us were, but I know
Hmm.
at certain points I was like, dang, you all, yeah, because I can. So I commend all of you for being transparent. I know you all are anyway, but I just thank you for that. Um, yeah, I guess I'm going to end this with my positive words of wisdom, which is start where you are, use what you have, and do what you can. Until next time, folks, peace.
Easy.
Okay, it's gonna
So do we
hang
hang
up.
up?
It's gonna